The goal of this project is to add a blue nightlight capability to the bathroom in my RV. When we were shopping for RV, we looked at a lot of different brand RVs, and it seems like the growing trend these days, at least with a few, is to put a blue nightlight in the bathroom. And the blue nightlight is nice because it is very subdued. It won't dilate your eyes as you walk in the middle of the night, and you can still see pretty well. So that's the thing we want to do. So far, the only night lights that I've found are independent. That is, they're blue lights only, and you have to drill another hole in the ceiling, run another set of wires to the light, and find another place to put a on-off switch. Well, I was going to try to do something a little bit different. I was looking for a combination light so that maybe I could have a blue light and a regular LED light in the same little light fixture, so that at least I didn't have to drill another hole in the ceiling, even though I may have to run another wire to another switch. Well, this is a puck light that comes out of my RV. I took it out of the ceiling in the bathroom, and it points down like this. And one thing I noticed is that you can easily open this lens, and then what you have is a little set of LEDs here, but you got a lot of space around on the outside. And being somewhat of an electronics person, I have in stock some blue LED. And these are just the standard LEDs that you could buy at any electronics store. You could buy them probably at Radio Shack if they were still around. You can also buy these little light holders. And the way they work is you just feed the LED in through a set of holes in the back. Then you put the mount on there and just squeeze tight. And there you have it. The LED is in a little mount, and there's a little threaded nut here so that you can just simply drill a couple holes in here and put these in the metal part. Now, one thing that must be pointed out is if you go this route, you're dealing with LEDs by themselves, so you're going to have to put a current limiting resistor in series with the LEDs. And I'll give you all those details as we go on in this project. When I was researching these, I actually ran across a product from the same manufacturer that had a nightlight built into it with an on-off switch. And I figured, man, that would be great. All I got to do is replace it and turn the light switch from one to the other, and I'll get either a blue light or a white light. The problem is these things, like most things RV these days, are made in China. I could not find anybody that imported them. Well, it did go to the same manufacturer, and I was able to at least get this. This is basically the same fixture, except that it is white light only with an on-off switch here. Now, you may notice some differences. This is a flush mount that mounts with these little springs. This is a little bit lower mount, but the thing is there's 3 mounting locations here. So you can still mount this up into the hole. You just won't be able to do the springs. You'll have to put some screws in. But it has the same exact twist-off lens and the same exact layout on the inside. So I'm going to use this. The only difficulty, though, is this is a single pull, single throw, so this turns the light on and off. However, I was able to find some switches. Now, these switches are very difficult to find. It's a single pole double throw, so I can wire both the blue and the white lights to the switch, and this switch will allow me to switch between the blue and white. So that's my plan, is I'm going to replace this switch with this one, and I'm going to put 4 of these, drill 4 holes around the outside, and I'll put 4 of these in. I got all 4 holes drilled, and 3 of the 4 holes I've put in these bezels for the LEDs. And they just simply go in the hole like that, and then you just tighten them down. Now with these LEDs, you have to watch out for the polarity. You've got one short lead and one long lead. So when I install the LEDs, I'm going to put them all in here so that the short lead is to the right. And then you just push them in. Now I suppose you could put a little super glue in here to hold them, but you know, these things hold pretty good as is, so it may not totally be necessary, but you can do that if you wish. This is a simplified drawing of how I modified the puck light. You can see that there's 4 LEDs there, and I show a long lead and a short lead. The long lead is the anode of the LED, while the short lead is the LED's cathode. The long lead goes to the plus side, the short lead goes to the negative side. And as you can see here, they're just wired in series, one right after the other, with a 120 ohm resistor also wired in series. This is a current limiting resistor, and it prevents too much current from flowing through the LEDs and thus shorting them out. Because when an LED is forward biased, it's basically a short. And then the other modification is the 12 volts coming from the source goes to the common of the switch. One lead goes to the LED array and the other lead goes to the puck light itself, and that allows the switch to turn on either the LED or the puck light. Now I've got all the LEDs wired in series, and it might be a little difficult to follow, but here is the positive through the switch, and to it would be the anode of the first LED, which is the long lead, and then the short lead is a cathode, goes to the long lead of the next one. The short lead of that one goes through a 120 ohm resistor, and this is the current limiting resistor I talked about. And then you can put this in anywhere in a series. So this is in series, this is in series, this is in series, this is in series, and finally that's in series, and this goes up to the negative side. Now with a 120 ohm resistor, I'm getting about 3 milliamperes of current flow, which is going to be sufficient at night. So what I did is I did a little test before I did this, and I used different values of resistors just to see how much the output would change, which value resistor would give me ample light. And 120 ohm resistor seems about right. And it doesn't have to be 120, it can vary anywhere from probably 240 down to 80 ohm or something, so just whatever you have handy. So now I've got this wired up to my bench power supply, and we've got it on the minus position, which means night light. Turn the supply on, and we've got 4 blue lights. And then I'm going to try to cover this up a little bit. When I turn it on the other position, then I get the light, the white LED. And so then all we have to do is, when we install this, drill 3 holes, put 3 screws in, and then when we screw the cover on, we'll have kind of an attractive little thing at night. And then, of course, in the daytime, I guess you can see it, then at night. Okay, this way I can just use the existing switch to turn this on and off, and then all I have to do is turn between this and this to go from daylight to nightlight. And I'm going to do the install in another video, because I'm going to not only install this, but I'm also going to install a set of reading lights that are blue light plus white light, and also a stepwell light that illuminates the stairs that I'm going to change over from white to blue. So I just didn't want this video to go on too long, so I'm going to separate it into 2. And on the back side here, I may just put a little goop on here to insulate it. It probably doesn't really need it, because we're talking low voltage here, but just to make a quality project, I may end up doing that.